Hi friends, how are you doing? Today, in the 7th episode of Infinite Korean History, we'll learn about Silla's great conquering monarch, King Jinheung. After watching this video, you will clearly understand how Silla laid the foundation for the unification of the three kingdoms. Shall we begin the exciting story of King Jinheung? Among the three kingdoms, Silla was weak compared to others because its development was slow. However, things began to change after King Jinheung and King Bopung. King Jinheung changed the country's name from Seorabal to Silla and was the first to use the title Silla. He was also the one who expanded the territory and revived the economy.
From now on, the name of our country is Silla, not Seorabal.
King Jinheung, was the first to use the title of king in Silla.
I can't believe Silla's land has grown so much. Long live King Jinheung.
If King Jinheung did the foundation work for Silla, King Bopung was the one who built a magnificent building on top of it. King Bopung organized the Yulyeong, which is legal codes, for the nation system and adopted Buddhism to unite the hearts of the people. He also showed a strength in Silla by conquering Gwansanseong. In this way, Silla began to develop into a powerful nation during King Bopung's reign.
King Bopung, organized the Yulyeong and adopted Buddhism.
Now, the Silla army is loyal only to the king.
Unfortunately, King Bopung had no son. When he died, his young grandson became king. That was King Jinheung. Although he became king at the young age of 7, he was able to grow into an excellent king without any trouble. It was all thanks to the way King Bopung had governed the country so well. You must grow up to be a magnificent king. It was also lucky that there were no attacks from Goguryeo or Baekje. Goguryeo was distracted by internal power struggles and invasions by the Turks, and Baekje was still building up its strength after its defeat by King Jangsu of Goguryeo.
There is so much chaos inside and outside the country. Oh, what a headache!
Let's quickly build our strength and repay the humiliation of our defeat by Goguryeo.
Years passed, and what did King Jinheung, now a young man, achieve? The first story of King Jinheung. 낮의 alliance against Goguryeo, which was constantly looking for a chance to move south. Silla and Baekje formed the 낮의 alliance. Once the alliance was formed, even Goguryeo could not act recklessly. Over time, Baekje, which had suffered defeat by Goguryeo, dreamed of revenge as it recovered its strength. What will happen next?
Yes, we shall join forces with Baekje and attack Goguryeo.
When did Baekje and Silla become this strong?
King Jinheung had great ambitions from a young age. Although Silla had become stronger than before, he still thought it was the weakest among the three kingdoms. Just as Hwangnyongsa the Great commanded the Korean peninsula and Manchuria at the age of 18, he wanted to make Silla the strongest power on the peninsula.
I will become a magnificent conquering monarch like Hwangnyongsa the Great.
Finally, an opportunity came to King Jinheung. The king of Baekje at the time was King Song. He changed the country's name to Nambueo and moved the capital to a wider area, Sabi. He also stabilized the royal authority and reorganized the nation systems. As the nation grew stronger, King Song thought about reclaiming the capital, Hansong, and the Han River Basin, which had been lost to Goguryeo. The Han River Basin was important geographically and economically. Above all, it was like the ancestral home where Baekje was first born.
I shall change the name of the country to Nambueo.
Long live King Song, long live Baekje.
King Song made a plan to defeat Goguryeo. It was to solidify the long-standing alliance with Silla. He sent an envoy to Silla and proposed a joint attack on Goguryeo. Although Goguryeo was distracted by power struggles and Clkick invasions, it was by no means an easy opponent. That's why he proposed a joint attack rather than going alone.
King Song proposes that we drive Goguryeo out of the Han River together.
The envoy delivered the message that if Baekje and Silla fought together and defeated Goguryeo, Baekje would take the southern Han River and Silla would take the northern Han River. King Jinheung readily accepted this.
I accept that proposal.
He had not forgotten the humiliation of Silla being a vassal of Goguryeo for 100 years. He also saw it as an opportunity to achieve his ambition of making Silla strong. Finally, in 551, King Jinheung attacked Goguryeo along with Baekje. Baekje fought to reclaim its old land, and Silla fought to expand into new territory.
Drive out the Goguryeo rascals!
Silla is expanding its land this time too.
It is difficult to face both Baekje and Silla at once. Retreat for now.
Even powerful Goguryeo could not hold out when attacked by both at once. Finally, the two nations were able to occupy the entire Han River basin. The second story of King Jinheung. The Han River. The Han River, which crosses the middle of the Korean peninsula, is considered the most important river in Korea. It is the same river that flows through present-day Seoul. What happened to Baekje and Silla after they occupied the Han River?
I can't believe Silla betrayed us!
I feel bad for Baekje, but it can't be helped. The Han River is too precious to us as well.
Although Silla occupied the northern Han River, King Jinheung had many worries. The northern Han River corresponds to present-day Gangwon-do, and Silla was still a geographically isolated country. King Jinheung knew well that the only way to solve Silla's problems was to occupy the southern Han River. He fell into deep thought about whether to be satisfied with the current situation or to be reborn as the strongest power on the peninsula.
There is no other way for Silla to develop than to occupy the Han River.
I think so too.
Geographically, the Han River is located in the middle of the Korean peninsula, making it a great place to take the lead in unifying the three kingdoms. Also, farming was very successful in the wide plains around the Han River. It was because it was easy to water the crops and the land was fertile. When farming is successful, food becomes abundant, making the people's lives comfortable and the nation's finances solid.
The Han River is a great place for farming.
In addition, the Han River was an important transportation route. Roads were not developed back then. Since traveling by boat was faster than traveling by land, it was very helpful for collecting taxes or transporting goods. Most importantly, through the West Sea connected to the southern Han River, Silla could directly communicate with China and gain opportunities for development.
Moving goods by boat is much faster and better than by land.
I have come from across the sea from China.
However, there was one problem in occupying the Han River. It was that they had to fight Baekje. It was not an easy task to suddenly betray Baekje, which they had been friends with for 120 years through the Naje alliance.
It's so good to reclaim the Han River that we lost to Goguryeo.
King Jinheung thought deeply once again about Silla's development. And finally, he made the decision to take the Han River.
Yes, I've decided. We will attack Baekje and take the Han River.
King Jinheung thought that if he missed this opportunity, Silla would forever remain a small country on the peninsula. He also had no worries about Goguryeo invading while he attacked Baekje. When they occupied the Han River, Baekje even argued for the destruction of Goguryeo. But King Jinheung refused any further war. Knowing this, Goguryeo was grateful to Silla. As you can see, there are no permanent friends or enemies between nations.
Let's join forces with Silla for now and watch the situation.
When Goguryeo reached out a hand of reconciliation to Silla, King Jinheung gained confidence. He thought that with Silla's current strength, they could defeat Baekje. Although King Jinheung was only 20 years old at the time, His ability to read international situations and his diplomacy were outstanding. Eventually, in 553, King Jinheung broke the alliance and attacked Clkick. Thus, an important war that would change the fate of the nation began.
Let's take the Han River and make Silla the strongest.
I can't believe Silla broke the alliance and attacked so suddenly. What a traitor!
It can't be helped. We need to live well too, don't we?
Clkick could not respond properly to Silla's sudden attack. Silla was able to take the entire Han River without much difficulty. From this point on, Silla stood tall as the strongest power on the Korean peninsula. Through communication with China via the Han River, they were able to develop by adopting advanced Chinese culture, and they were able to take the lead in unifying the three kingdoms. That's all for this video. Hwangnyongsa the Great is amazing as he became king at 18. But don't you think King Jinheung is also incredible as he expanded Silla's territory at a similar age? Today, we were able to see King Jinheung's international sense. We saw him joining forces with Clkick to occupy the Han River basin and also joining forces with Goguryeo. As a result, Silla was able to occupy the Han River basin that it had dreamed of. I can't help but admire King Jinheung's judgment, as he did whatever it took for the development of Silla. In the next video, let's find out more about what King Jinheung did along with his conquests. See you in the next video. Bye.